All right. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. This is Jeff with Fluent American checking in. And today we have a couple different sounds that we're working on some consonants, the ch sound, the j sound, and the j sound. Now, as I go through this, if you have some specific questions, be sure to post them in the chat box. You can see I have that up on the side in case anyone has any questions. There's also a bonus comparison, a bonus minimal pair that we'll go through towards the end of the video. So if this is a tricky sound for you, this j sound, and you confuse it with some other ones, definitely stay tuned until the end. Also, quick note, our goal for the rest of 2020 has been crazy. So we're trying for a goal. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers by December 31st. So if you'd like to help us with that goal, you know some other people that would be interested in this type of content, please share it with them. And also feel free to join us as well. If this is helpful for you, feel free to subscribe. I'll talk more about resources we have a little bit later, but let's begin by just kind of going into this j sound. J sound. You can see in the middle of your screen here, I have lots of content and words that we're going to go through, some minimal pairs and quick descriptions for mouth position that I hope are going to be helpful. So just a quick note about this j sound. J. First thing, you should feel some vibration right here. This is a voiced consonant sound, so j, j. Now for a lot of students, this is going to be relatively easy when it's at the start of words or it's in the middle of words. But when it's at the end of words, what tends to happen is suddenly that vibration just disappears and we're left just with like a sh sound or like ch, ch. But it's not ch, it's more j, j. Make sure that no matter where you find this word, your throat vibrates. Okay, keep that in mind. Second thing, what you're going to feel is the tip of your tongue is going to start low, then very quickly touch the top of your mouth, right around where your gum and your tooth meet, that alveolar ridge, and then it's going to fall back down again. So it's going to sound like j, j. Lastly, the sides of your tongue, so on the left side and the right side, you should feel your top teeth. So it's almost like you're biting the sides of your tongue very, very, very gently. Don't hurt yourself. And again, it should sound like j, j. Let's go through some practice words with this, starting with j sounds at the start. So for instance, our first word here, judge, judge, juice, juice, jail, jail, Japanese, Japanese, joke, joke, justice, justice, jeer, jeer, job, job, judge, juice, jail, Japanese, joke, justice, job. And a quick sentence here to practice as well. The judges jailed jokesters in jails. Quick note on jails. Notice it has that long vowel. It's going to break into two parts. Jails, jails. When you make that ol sound, don't give it a stress. So it's not jails, it's jails. But it's a slight ol sound with the front of your tongue down and your mouth mostly closed. Ol, jail, jail. The judges jailed jokesters in juicy jails. Or in jails, excuse me. All right, so again, those are j sounds at the start of words. Let's now take a look at j sounds when they're more in the middle. Our first one here, adjust, adjust. Notice you get two schwa sounds here. Adjust, adjust. Next one, injustice, injustice. Fidget, fidget. Major, major. Engine, engine. Disjointed, disjointed. Quick note on this one. Notice that T in disjointed is not usually pronounced. So when you get a T sound after the letter N, it's usually not pronounced in American English pronunciation. Disjointed. Adjust, injustice, fidget, budget, major, engine, disjointed. And our sentence, major budget adjustments led to the injustice. Major budget adjustments led to the injustice. So notice there on all the j sounds again. Let's now take a look at j sounds at the ends of words. This tends to be the most difficult. So again, fudge. It's not fudge, it's fudge. forge, forge, hedge, hedge, badge, badge, nudge, nudge, siege, siege, age, age. Let's read those again at a more natural pace and a more natural sound. Fudge, forge, hedge, badge, nudge, siege, age. So this is definitely the section I want you to pay the most attention to make sure that these are not changing into ch sounds. It should not sound like fudge, forge, hedge, batch, nudge, siege, h. Again, it should sound like fudge, forge, hedge, badge, nudge, siege, age. So just pay attention to that. Our practice sentence. At what age can I forge my fudge badge? Fudge badge. At what age? At what age can I forge? At what age can I forge my fudge badge? All right, let's now jump into our minimal pairs section. If there are some minimal pairs that you would like to hear, be sure to post them in the comments, or if there's some words that you'd like to notice. Also, quick plug, we have lots of pronunciation resources available besides our YouTube page. We have a couple Facebook groups as well. We have a pronunciation group, and we also have an IELTS writing group. So if those are things you're interested in, definitely encourage you to check those out as well. In addition to that, we also have a couple of WhatsApp groups that are available too. There's one for speaking and there's one for pronunciation. In fact, our speaking group, we actually had a talk earlier this morning on Zoom. So a couple of people joined that. So if you're looking to get some speaking practice or some pronunciation practice, I'm sure let me know. You can find out more information about the WhatsApp groups by joining our Facebook page, joining our Facebook group. All right, let's take a look now again at our minimal pairs. First sounds we're going to be comparing. We're going to compare the j sound, like in the word like pledge, with the j sound, like in the word like pleasure. So again, pledge versus pleasure. What's the difference? Well, both of these are going to be voiced, but for the j sound, j, what you're going to notice is you're not going to press your tongue as hard against the top of your mouth. And it's not really the tip of your tongue. It's going to be more the middle of your tongue. So like right around like there. So it's not the very tip. It's more like the middle of your tongue, the front middle of your tongue touching the alveolar ridge. And you should feel lots of air going down the middle of your tongue. Okay, so you should feel air going down the middle of your tongue. Whereas when you make the j sound, it's more of a stop. It's like j, j. That's the sound we're looking for in a word like pleasure, pleasure. Besides that, both of these sounds are voiced, so make sure your throat's vibrating. All right, let's take a look at our first pair. Our first word, pledge. Our second word, pleasure. Pledge, pleasure. One last time, pledge, pleasure. Second group, first word, Roger. Roger. Second word, garage. Garage. Roger, garage. Roger, garage. Next pair, first word, lodge. Again, lodge. Notice that O sound is an ah, la. So really make sure your mouth is wide, back of your tongue is down, front of your tongue is down. One easy way to check that ah sound is look at yourself in the mirror. You should be able to see back into your throat when you say ah, ah. Look how far back you can see into my mouth. Ah. That's a key for that ah sound. Lodge. The second word, collage. Collage. So let's compare those again. Lodge, collage. Lodge, collage. Our next word, fudge. Fudge versus fusion. Fusion. Fudge, fusion. Fudge, fusion. And our last pair, first word, ledge. Ledge. Second word, leisure. Leisure. So again, ledge, leisure. Ledge, leisure. Let's take a look at our sentence. In his leisure, Roger measured the collages on the ledge. The collages on the ledge. In his leisure, that j sounding it, Roger measured. And that whole sentence again. In his leisure, Roger measured the collages on the ledge in a more natural pace. In his leisure, Roger measured the collages on the ledge. Let's now compare this to the j sound. So for instance, in a word like gin, gin, versus the ch sound, the voiceless sound. Same mouth position, it's just no vibration. Chin, chin. It's like gin, chin. Look at our first pair, first word. Lunge, lunge, versus lunch, lunch. So again, lunge, lunch, lunge, lunch. Next one, range, range, versus ranch, ranch. So again, range, ranch, range, ranch. Next pair, first word, magic, magic, versus matches, matches. So magic, matches, magic, matches. Next pair, first word, enjoys, enjoys, versus choice, choice, enjoys, choice, enjoys, choice. And our last group, ridge, just sound, ridge, versus rich, rich. So again, ridge, rich, ridge, rich. And our sentence, lunch had a rich range of choices for gin, gin, choices for gin. Lunch, a rich range. Lunch had a rich range of choices for gin. And our last pair, our bonus pair, we're going to be looking at the j sound and the z sound. So again, the j sound of budge versus the z sound. So what you're going to do for that, raise the tip of your tongue just a little bit higher, and it's going to be even more the tip of your tongue making contact for that z, z, z. You don't need to necessarily have contact with the sides of your tongue and the top of your mouth either for that z sound. Let's look at our last group. First word, budge, budge. Second word, buzz, buzz, budge, buzz, budge, buzz. Next group, first word, forge, forge, versus fours, fours, forge, fours, forge, fours. Hey Leah, see your comment. Good to have you here again. If there's some other words related to this or not related to this too, be sure to let me know if you have any questions. Good to see you again. Our next word, siege, siege, versus seize, seize. Again, we get those j and those z sounds at the end. Make sure your throat's vibrating hard on these. Siege, seize, siege, seize. Next one, take a look at them at the start of words. Gene, gene, and zine, zine, gene, zine, gene, zine. Our next one, back to the final. Rage versus raise, rage, raise, rage, raise. And our last group, first word, Joan, Joan, versus zone, zone, Joan, zone, Joan, zone. All right. And our sentence here, the Gene Zine's budget was seized in a rage, rage. Let's take a look at seized. Watch out for that consonant cluster. Going from that Z sound to that D sound can be a little bit tricky. Zd, zd. Make sure your throat's vibrating for that full duration. Zd, seized. Then the first part here, the gene zines. Another cluster here as well. You're going from an N sound to a Z sound. It's like nz, nz, zines, zines, the gene zines, and then budget. Hey Zobeda, I see you. Great to have you here. If you have any questions on specific words, be sure to let me know. And this sentence here. The Gene Zine's budget was seized in a rage. The Gene Zine's budget was seized in a rage. Alright guys, that's all I had for you for this specific sound. I'll wait a couple minutes just to see if anyone has specific words they have questions about, any sounds they have other questions about, stress, things like that. But yeah, again, just some general information. We have our Facebook group, we have our WhatsApp group, so feel free to check those out if you're interested. Also, again, our goal is to try to reach 1,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Kind of a big goal, but a reach for us. If you have other sounds or things that you would like to see in a future video, be sure to let me know. Tomorrow we'll be having our Sunday video come out, and the Sunday video is going to be talking about resources for studying pronunciation. I'll talk to you about basically my favorite resources, the ones I find most helpful as a teacher, but also as a language learner, what I think would be helpful for studying English. But again, if there's specific content that you would like to see in the future, I'd really appreciate it. Also, again, for the groups, Ibrahim's given us a plug. The WhatsApp group is so helpful. I think it's great. I mean, the nice thing about the WhatsApp group is you get quick feedback. We do a daily challenge where I just provide a couple of quick words. I provide the audio for that. And then if you feel comfortable, you can send in your own recording of yourself. And I provide you some quick feedback to say, oh yeah, I think this word sounds good. Or no, I think we need to practice that one sound a little bit more. So I think it's a good opportunity for practice. But yeah, that's all I had for you guys for today. Thank you so much for your time. Always appreciate having you here. We'll hope to see you again in a future video. You take care. Have a good day. Have a good night and a good afternoon. Take care, everybody. Bye.